Hey, well, listen, thanks for having me, and I'm incredibly delighted to be here as chairman of the Republican Governors Association because we really believe that this is an extraordinary opportunity here in the great state of Missouri. Is that not on anymore? Okay. This is an extraordinary opportunity to have a new governor, and therefore a new opportunity for growth and prosperity and for more people to live the American dream in your great state. We know that there are challenges not only in this state but in this nation. Most of you are business people. You get it. You understand the free enterprise system. You understand the secret of America for 405 years since the settlers landed at Jamestown, Virginia, and what this country's all been about. It's been about freedom and free enterprise and opportunity and people living dreams. My grandfather came off the boat 100 years ago, 2 months ago, to pass Ellis Island, settle in Boston, and try to create a better life for him and his family than he had in Ireland. And if I went around the room, I imagine there's many, many American stories like that, where someone from your family decided to take a risk at some point in time, and it's led to a better life for you. And our job now is to create a better Missouri, a better Virginia, a better America for our kids and our grandkids, so they too can have access to that great American dream that we celebrate. We got a country that's in some trouble, and having leaders that are honest to say that and then have honest, straightforward, results-oriented solutions is what we need. And it's why we need a great change in the leadership of the United States at this time. 8% unemployment rate now for 42 months, a $16 trillion national debt, and growing exponentially. The greatest increase in the national debt over the last 3 years that we've had in American history. We have no coherent energy plan. We have gas prices that have doubled. We have the lowest level of new entrepreneurs that we've had in 30 years. That is small businesses like the one that you heard about that Dave grew. And that means it's time for a change in the nation. And I think Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan are just the team to be able to make that happen here in the next couple of months. Just with your great leader here, Senator Talent, over the last couple of days down in Tampa, crafting the Republican platform. And in that platform, there were some significant proposals about how to get America out of debt and back to work and produce more in our energy and our agriculture sectors and the things that are important to you here in the great state of Missouri. You've got Governor Romney with his 5-point plan to how to uplift and raise up the middle class with debt reduction and workforce development and small business and entrepreneurship promotion and education reform and the things that really will make a difference in our great country. And I can't wait to see him sworn in, because as good as things might be in Virginia, I know how much better it's going to be with a governor, a president like Mitt Romney. You know, this is a remarkable nation that we have, even with the challenges and some of those statistics that I quoted you about where we are in terms of debt and deficit and energy. We have created more opportunities for freedom and more opportunities for people to live their dreams in a free society and produce wealth and opportunity for others than any nation on earth by far. We're the most generous nation on earth, whether you measure it in time and talent, foreign aid. This is an extraordinary people that we have. And what we need is just some leaders that understand the essence of the nation, that understand that you don't tax your way to prosperity, that government isn't the solution to be able to create jobs and opportunity. It's the private sector. And if we have less taxation and less regulation and less litigation and less unionization and more promotion of opportunity and jobs and hope and dreams, the American people can accomplish anything. They can compete with any country in the world. And we've shown that now for 236 years since Mr. Jefferson, the second governor of Virginia, by the way, wrote the Declaration of Independence. I may brag about Virginia a little bit while we're here. I hope you don't mind about it. That's why they call us the mother of presidents, the cradle of democracy. We did contribute to some of those great founding documents now that make everybody from Missouri to California, Virginia prosperous today. And so that's why I'm here, is to talk about the need for change in your state. You're the show me state, and I know you want to show people again what the people of Missouri can do if they've got the kind of leadership that will inspire them to do great things. Now, all of you have been leaders, I know, in the private sector, and that's one of the reasons that you're here, because you've got a tremendous private sector leader in Dave Spence that's offered himself up to be the next governor of your great state. And boy, doesn't he have a great family with Susie and 4 kids? I think they're his best advocates, and they're going to be one of the reasons that he wins. Now, Dave, I'm going to be monitoring your TV commercials, and if I don't see Susie and I don't see your kids on TV, I don't think we're going to give you any money. How's that? Because you've got some great assets and a beautiful family, and nobody can say about something more about the character of a man than I think his family. But you heard in Senator Talent's introduction what Dave Spence has accomplished. I mean, this is your consummate American dreamer. If you want somebody that's going to be able to create more growth and opportunity and jobs, you should hire somebody that's actually done it. That's why Mitt Romney is going to be a great president, a job creator at Bain, a job creator in Massachusetts, going from 50th to 30th, somebody who actually balanced the budget, cut $3 billion without raising taxes, and turned Massachusetts around. Well, you got the same kind of a great real-world can-do experience with Dave Spence. I mean, you heard those phenomenal numbers, taking a company from 15 employees to 800, from a few bucks in revenue to 200 million in a short 27 years. I mean, this is phenomenal experience, and that's what you want in your state capital, a leader that gets it, that creates jobs. I think you can say Spence has common sense. That's as good as Bob's for jobs. I think that'll work, Dave. It's a little longer bumper sticker than I had, but I'm telling you, it'll work. But I mean, when this is what you need, when you lost 33,000 jobs over the last 3 years with this governor, when you're 48th in job growth in the country, there's no question that firing up the free enterprise system in Missouri is the top issue in this race. So I just think that you've got a terrific candidate. You've got somebody that understands the American dream and will provide more of it for others. Republican governors are doing something different than Democratic governors, and that's why I wanted to say it's not just because we believe in Dave and he's done it in the private sector, but Republican governors around the country are doing something different than their Democratic governors. Let me give you a couple for instances. The unemployment rate in Republican-governed states is 1 full point below the unemployment rate in Democratic-governed states. The 5 states that have had the largest drops in their unemployment rate over the last year have Republican governors. 12 out of the 15 states that have the lowest unemployment rates in all of America have Republican governors. 7 out of the 10 states that have the best business rankings in all the country, according to CNBC, have Republican governors. So I could go on, but I think you're getting the picture that while President Obama is running around the country saying that it's his stimulus and it's his bailouts and it's his spending that are secret and what's going on in some of these states and why things are getting better, it's just not true. Republican leadership, conservative leadership, people that understand small business and entrepreneurship and promoting free enterprise, that's what Republican governors are doing, and that's why you see a positive change and better results in those states. How about our stand-up governor, Scott Walker, in Wisconsin? You see what he's been doing. He had the courage to say, people of Wisconsin, this is what we need to do, and if you elect me, this is what I will do. It will not be easy. It will not be, we're going to have to make some changes, but if you do this and stick with me, we will get results. And 15 months later and 2 elections later, he bore that out, and the people of Wisconsin ratified his leadership, and now Wisconsin's got their first property tax cut in 10 years. They've cut a $3.6 billion budget without raising taxes, and jobs are coming back to the state of Wisconsin. And that's what Dave Spence will do here in the state of Missouri. And that's why I wanted to be here today to tell you that the RGA is 100% behind Dave Spence. He is a strong leader. He's put his own money into the race. We like to see that because we know people are invested in their race. They believe and are confident in their own abilities. And this is absolutely a winnable race. We have some resources at the RGA that we're going to put in here. We got about 8 races around the country where we're on offense. We only have 1 we're defending, and that's in Puerto Rico. But we have 6 out of the 8 that we really believe we can win. And right near the top of that list is Missouri. Missouri and West Virginia have incumbent Democratic governors that we are on the offense, and we think we can win. We have open seats in Montana and Washington and North Carolina and New Hampshire that we also think we can win. My goal is to have the greatest number of Republican governors since 1921. We need 4 to do it. Missouri needs to be one of those. So I'm here to ask for your help. Many of you have written checks, and I want to say thank you for that. Many of you have probably done more than that. You've been surrogates. You got a sign in your front yard or at your business. You've told people that they ought to vote for Dave. You've come to forums and you've understood his positions on jobs and spending, on taxes, on entrepreneurship, on education. You like them, and you're talking to other people about them. That's great. That's a good start. We've still got 80 days to go. And there's an immense number of things that you can do to still help Dave win. His opponent's got a lot of money in the bank. I think at last count about $7 million. He's raised $12 million. Dave's put in a lot of money. He's gotten a lot of money. He's going to get a lot of help from the Republican Governors Association. But to beat an incumbent, you've got to be able to put sufficient lead on the target and be in the mailboxes, on the TV, got to be heard on the radio. You've got to be able to have sufficient resources. So if you've got the capacity to give, I'm going to ask you to give more. In fact, you can ask Dave what the limit is, because some of you say we want to max out to you, and we really love that in Missouri because there's no limits, and we want you to give until it hurts, and then give some more, because there's a lot at stake for the state and the nation, and that's why we've endeavored so hard through the Republican Governors Association to raise money. We've outraised the Democrats about 2 to 1. We're going to probably spend 2 to 1 more than they are, because this is an extraordinary time to be able to win. We know you can do it. In Missouri. Mitt Romney is going to win here probably 10 points, 12 points, 15 points because of the conservative people that we have here in this state. There's no reason that Dave Spence can't win. I tell you, over the last couple of months since he's gotten in the race and people have gotten to know him and heard his story, his American dream story, and heard his policies and compared him to what's going on currently under the Nixon administration, more and more people are donating. More and more people are saying, Dave, we're going to support you in November. But it's still going to take vast resources, so I ask you to consider to helping him more. And then I want to ask you to do something else, and I know I mentioned at the meeting we had before, is to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. There's so much at stake for Missouri and for America this time that I'm going to ask you to not just be business leaders, but be activists. You heard the pastor, you heard the veteran, talk about what's at stake for people of faith and for veterans and for business people, and that was inspiring. But if you really want to see a change, you've got to tell your customers, your suppliers, your employers that there's a real difference in the candidates at the federal level and at the state level. You have to at least inform them, even if you're not going to call out the names, just say one candidate believes in this, and that road will lead to a status quo with more unemployment and more debt and more deficits and less vision. And the other candidates, Dave Spence, has a vision to get Missouri back on track, out of debt, back to work, and this is what's good for our people. And so I hope you'll consider that challenge. I know it's not easy when you're in a business position to talk to your people about that, because there are some inherent risks in doing that. But I'm telling you, there's so much at stake right now in terms of what direction the state and what direction the nation goes, that it takes bold leadership. Just like Dave has offered himself up for this position, sold his business, spent a lot of time away from his family, we're asking you to do the same thing. Be bold and talk to people in your church, in your synagogue, around the water cooler at work, your employees, suppliers. Tell them that there's a difference and that Dave Spence is going to make a positive difference for your business and for your communities. And if you do that, there'll be a good result here in Missouri. So I want to say thanks so much for having me. This is vitally important. I can tell you that we will be involved in this race. We have folks that have been on the ground working with Dave that understand what's at stake here in Missouri. We count this as one of the top priorities in the country. You've got great people like Senator Talent and Senator Blunt and others that I know are going to be working vigorously to help Dave win. But at the end of the day, this is a choice for the people of Missouri. And you all, by the fact that you're here, you're leaders. You're ones that can make a phenomenal difference, not only with checks, but with your advocacy, your good name, and convincing people all around you in your spheres of influence that Dave is the right guy for this time. So I appreciate so much what you're doing. We will have his back from Washington. You keep up the good work. You're going to have a great new governor in November. Thanks a lot.